Hello and welcome to Wednesday Words on Wednesday, the 20th of May. I'm so glad you're here. And this week's topic is going to be about news overload. I'd like to ask you a question. When you opened your phone this morning, how did your body feel? Do you even know? Not what you thought, but how your body felt. Your shoulders, your jaw, your breath in your chest. Because I've been noticing something, both in myself and in conversations with clients. The news this week isn't just information anymore. It's something that lands in our nervous system. And a lot of us, what it leaves behind is anxiety. Today, I want to look at two of this week's news headlines through that lens to name what is happening. Not to add to our worries, but so we can do something about it. First one, Westminster. Sir Keir Starmer is facing calls to resign less than 2 years after that landslide election. Labour lost nearly 1,500 council seats earlier this month. There are whispers, in fact, more than whispers, calling for him to resign. A leadership challenge, if you like. The papers are full of speculation. Just notice how that lands. For a lot of us, political instability, any sense that the ground at the top is shifting and crumbling under our feet, triggers something quite primal within us, even if you're not particularly political. Our brains read uncertainty at the top, uncertainty about my world. Our nervous system doesn't really distinguish between I might lose my job and the government might collapse. It just registers unsafe, unsafe, like a siren going off, like an alarm in your whole system. The second news item I wanted to mention was the King's speech. Last week, His Majesty opened Parliament with, you won't believe this, 37 bills. 37! There's a European Parliament bill, an energy independence bill, and many, many other ones. Housing, healthcare, I could go on. Here's the thing about volume. When the fire hose is on, our attention cannot tell what is important. So effectively, everything becomes important. And anxiety loves the impact of volume. It loves 37 things to track. Anxiety would be in its absolute element over 37 bills to track. Because it tells us, very convincingly in fact, that we need to hold on to all of them. We need to have an opinion. We need to be ready, just in case any of them turn out to be the one that matters. Isn't that exhausting? That's a kind of low-level vigilance our nervous systems were not designed to carry all day. Our brains just cannot cope with that constant sense of overwhelm that all that input causes. What then is actually going on? This is what I keep coming back to throughout my videos. Neither of the stories I've mentioned are the source of the anxiety. The news itself isn't new. Governments have always been fragile. What is new, however, is the relationship that you and I have with the news. It's in our pocket. It updates while we sleep. It's tuned by algorithms to keep us scrolling, which means by design that it shows us of things most likely to set off the alarm in our chest. I hope this is making sense and that it resonates with you, because the dangers of being on call most of our days and the effect of that upon our brains is what I'm currently witnessing playing out in the counselling room. Basically, we end up more informed than any generation before us, and yet we feel less safe. Crazy. We know more and we sleep worse. If any of this resonates, if the headlines have been sitting heavily in your chest, if you found yourself doom scrolling, perhaps your sleep has been lighter, you are not alone. Researchers now talk about headline stress and news-induced anxiety. It's well documented and is affecting an awful lot of people. What can we do about it? Here's a couple of small things that I've been trying. Not prescriptions, just reflections. Choose your windows. I don't read news first thing in the morning, and I definitely do not read it last thing at night. The world doesn't move faster than that. It just feels like it does, because we're programmed to believe it. Secondly, notice the difference between being informed and being immersed. Being informed is a 30-minute read. Being immersed is 3 hours of scrolling, hot takes, reaction videos. They do feel similar, but they're not. One is far more healthy than the other. I'll leave you to work out which. If this week's news has felt heavy, you're not weak and you're not broken. You're a person with a nervous system living in a moment that asks an awful lot of it. Be gentle with yourself. Be choosy about what you take in. And if it's been more than passing, if the anxiety has settled in and isn't lifting, please talk to someone, a friend, a GP, a therapist. You certainly don't have to carry it alone. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I would love you to comment below and share with your friends and others. These are your Wednesday words from Adapt Counselling, where we learn to adapt with awareness, patience and care. Until next time, pay attention to your nervous system. It's telling you more than you think. I've been Debs Barrett from Adapt Counselling. I will see you next Wednesday. Bye bye now.